What if I told you you could be making twice or even 3 times as much as your annual income? This topic should be important to you all because financial stability is a constant worry for the majority of the population. As a tax-paying laborer, I know I have personally found that a better wage could have significantly impact on my life. Therefore, the federal minimum wage should be increased. To prove why minimum wage should be increased, we will visit how it has failed to keep up with the rising cost of inflation, the financial effects on families, and how economic stability can improve oneself. Minimum wage has failed to keep up with inflation due to the rising costs over the past 2 to 3 years, even going back further, with minimum wage also increasing but not keeping up. Author Megan Carroll stated in CBS News article on September 4, 2022 that, quote, a lot of households are seeing pay raises that in normal times would look good, but instead they are being swamped by higher expenses, and only a third of working Americans reported that their income has been kept up with or exceeded the increase in household expense due to inflation, meaning families have seen increase in pay for minimum wage for hourly. However, their expenses have also increased, and they're just not meeting those increases. Therefore, they are struggling. And another article from the Economic Policy Issue written by Josh Bivens on September 2nd, 2022 states, quote, but when inflation is higher than normal, the real value of minimum wage can be absolutely crushed if lawmakers don't act. In the last 2 years alone, the minimum wage's purchasing power has dropped by 12.2%, a massive hit to the living standards of the working people, meaning living costs such as food, water, electric, common needed expenses for living have increased while income has stayed the same, so they're getting less profit throughout the year. The second reason financial or minimum wage should be increased, the financial situation between families. It could lead to altercations and poor relationships, unhealthy habits, and it could even lead to negative or criminal activity. And according to the Oasis Library Guides, no author provided and no published date provided, quote, as with children, adults who live in poverty experience the worst health outcomes, including higher mortality rates and increasing risk of mental health conditions, such as depression, substance abuse disorders, and more. The stress of poverty coupled with inadequate health care causes and limited financial resources for treatment further diminishes health conditions and makes parenting even more challenging. This meaning low income and not financially stable can lead to criminal activity, poor health, and more. And another article found and dated May 29th of 2020 from The Effect claims that the stress of poverty involves more than just worries about money. It includes hunger, exposure to violence, accidents, discrimination, and multiple family changes. Out of school factors such as poor quality daycare, the lack of access to media resources, and environmental toxicity. These exert a powerful and limiting role in what can actually be achieved. These factors inevitably affect child and parent relations. Again, meaning parent relations between children and their parents could cause fighting, distrust, or even anger towards one another. Due to all the worrying and anxious that money causes, let's now look at how the financial stability can improve oneself, such as mental health. In the Center of America's Progress article, established on July 20th, 2023, no author provided, quote, raising the minimum wage would be an investment in growing the middle class, and a clear way to build the economic security of workers and their families. With higher wages, millions of Americans would be closer to economic stability and peace of mind. Policymakers must work to raise the federal and state minimum wages to benefit workers, help employers attract and retain them, boost consumption spending, and stimulate local economies. Based on the visited data of why minimum wage should be increased, we looked at how minimum wage has failed to keep up with inflation, how the financial stability impacts families and can affect families, and thirdly, the financial and economic stability that comes with money can improve oneself. Leaving with this information, who would be able to keep up with financial stability knowing inflation is rising?